Hello, folks. Welcome back to our channel. And today I'm going to be reviewing another episode of Medium. And today I'm going to be reviewing the 9th episode of the 2nd season called Still Life. Still Life, indeed. The episode was directed by Robert Duncan McNeil and written by Craig Sweeney. And it aired on November 21st of 2005 on NBC. So what is this episode about? Basically, it begins with some kind of a monologue, and Allison is telling us about art. And so we get to see a lot of paintings of a very famous painter. I don't recall his name, just that it begins with Van something. And basically, what happens afterwards is pretty traumatic. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to spoil or anything. But then she wakes up and she was watching. She passed out in front. She passed out in front of the television, and lo and behold, the guy on TV is actually talking about some paintings, I believe. So then you have basically the opening credits, and then the episode officially kind of takes off. And basically in this episode, Allison is going to be investigating a very peculiar case. She's going to be investigating the murder of someone called Gloria Soto. And Gloria Soto was basically stabbed. And she was stabbed because whoever killed her wanted to hide something, right? There's a secret there. And basically, all throughout the episode, Allison is going to be teaming up with Detective Lee Scanlon, a great investigator, and together the two of them are going to try and figure out what the secret is, what the secret's all about, what it is, and how things turned out the way they did, right? So this is basically their mission throughout this case, during this case. And then Allison and Lee are gonna go to visit a suspect. His name is Jason Morrow. And so basically, in there they're gonna find a lot of paintings of this woman, of Gloria, right? And it seems pretty strange because he pretended that he never knew her, right? So this is possibly something big. And Allison and Lee are going to be really tempted to arrest him. Actually, Lee is the one who's making the arrest. And in order to understand how come he didn't know about her yet, there are paintings all over in his house, right? So this is possibly a big lead that they're going to have, so they're going to follow it up. And basically, Allison is going to know, after having a lot of visions, she's going to come to know where Gloria was killed and also buried. And basically, they're going to be holding Jason in prison for 24 hours, according to Wikipedia. I'm quoting a little bit from over there. And then Scanlon is going to find some skeletons. And it's going to be something that Allison saw in her dreams too. In a vision, actually. And it's also a painting in a way, in which basically you have this big tree. And you have sneakers hanging down from the branches, right? So basically, yeah, you get the picture, right? Like not just a pair, but several pairs of sneakers hanging out from branches. And basically, this is relevant to the case, but I'm not going to tell you exactly how because I don't want to spoil the episode too much. But then, as they uncover the skeletons that were buried, they unearth them. They're going to make another shocking discovery. I'm not going to spoil it. And basically after that, everything is going to kind of fall into place. And they're gonna figure out what really happened and how, right? And yeah, I believe this is pretty much it for this episode. There's gonna be a big kind of reveal, a big shocking twist, but I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't wanna. And I'll let you find out for yourself. So this is where I'll end with the main plot. And then the sub story in this episode, the side story, whatever you want to call it, it's basically about Joe. And Joe's boss is basically stepping down. What was his name? Let me find his name. Well, I'll tell you later. I'll probably remember from reading the list of actors. But yeah, I believe it was his boss, or one of his co-workers. I'm pretty sure it was his boss though, not just a co-worker. But basically, he's gonna be stepping down, and he wants to start his own company. And he's asking Joe if he'd be interested in joining him. And it's kind of an intriguing offer, right? According to Wikipedia, I'm quoting a little bit from over there today. But yeah, I like what is being said, in this, as a summary of this episode. So I'm quoting some words from there. Just not wanting to, I just don't want to take credit for that. But basically, yeah, even though it's an interesting offer, an intriguing offer, whatever you want to call it, Joe doesn't know if he should do it or not. And basically, Allison is visited by his father, who is dead. And basically, he's going to tell her something. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but something is running on fumes. And you'll see when you watch the episode what it's about and how it's going to affect Joe's decision. And I'm not going to tell you too much because I don't want to spoil the episode. I don't want to give too much away. But I didn't mention it, but I think I would like to. Basically, Allison and Joe are going to be at this art exhibit. And that was a pretty good scene, too. And for those of you who love art, I believe you will love this episode. If you haven't read it, you'll probably love this episode indeed. So, now let's move on to this episode, the actors, and I just would like to mention something before that. Apparently, this episode that aired on November 21st, 2005, I just saw something here that says that this episode was in 3D, apparently, in 3D. Dang, that would have been pretty cool to witness that. There's a poster here that says, watch a special episode of Medium in 3D on Monday, November 21st at 10:09 yeah, that would have been awesome, but I didn't watch it in 3D. So, let's move on to the actors, and then I'll just wrap it up. So we have the main ones. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. John Shee plays David Morrow, great actor. Kevin Alejandro plays Jason Morrow, pretty great actor too. Henry Groner as Joe's boss, really enjoyed his work. Michael Kavanagh as defense attorney. Bruce Gray, who plays Joe's dad, awesome actor, one of my favorites from the show. Tina DeJoseph, who plays Linda Novi. Suzanne Santiago, who plays Ines Avila. Ian Patrick Williams, who plays the professor. Ed Bakari, who plays Vincent Van Gogh. Right, this was the actor that was not the actor, the artist. I couldn't remember his name. That's Vincent Van Gogh. That was, that was at the beginning. It was a pretty interesting scene, too. It was a pretty interesting scene. Rod Serling, and as Rod Serling in archive footage. Mark Silverman as Rod Serling. Uncredited. And Orange Starr as detective, uncredited. So those are the main actors and characters. They were pretty good. My favorite one being Joe's dad, Bruce Gray, and John Shee as David Morrow. And Michael Kavanagh, the defense attorney, is pretty great too. And Kevin Alejandro as Jason Morrow was awesome as well. So these actors are awesome. I really wish I could have seen the episode in 3D. Come to think of it, there would have been a lot of awesome scenes to see in 3D, being about art and everything. So if I were to rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10, I would honestly give it an 8 out of 10. I really loved it, especially the tree and the sneakers, the shoes hanging down from the branches. This scene is pretty great in my opinion. And there was a lot of blood at the beginning, but nobody, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of mystery building up, a nice build up, a good sized story with Joe's dad and his job and his boss and everything. So I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for this episode. I would give this episode an 8 out of 10. What about you folks? What did you think about the ninth episode, Still Life, Cold Still Life? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would really love to hear about your thoughts and views on this episode. And I'll share in the next review for another episode. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. Goodbye. Take care. This whole channel for you signing off.